G'day and welcome to my garage. Okay, we've come to the end of the the end of our travel. Well, not travel, but well, yes, travel also. As you can see out the end here is the extension that I made to that permanent work table casting. It was only supposed to be as long, same size as the what's that? The angle plate. But the reason I made it longer is because of the flex. Because what's in the carriage now is not strengthened by the 12mm and 10mm steel raised section there. So I thought I'd put it on the back there. You can see now how much this flexes, and it's even worse if I go further. Okay, that'll do for the moment. I've finished machining that face. Well, I've taken it off the angle plate and I've blued it up, and there's the first bluing. Yeah, we don't know how high that high spot is. We'll have a quick look. Yeah, it is high there. It's about 1.5 mil or so. Thou. Not going to get the gauges out, but it's not bad. MLB critical, too critical, probably. But I don't see anyone on YouTube taking their stuff off the mill and then bluing it up to check it out. So maybe I shouldn't be so critical. Catch you later. Okay, I've shaved this a little bit with the small scraper before this, but it wasn't that far out. It's a handy little scraper, this. I've got to put a bit more longer edge on it, but works good. I'm not always scraping. I'm using some high-tech tools sometimes too, called a file. Well, slowly getting there. Now getting even contact up this point, and similar contact there, even in them. It's getting good. Won't be too much longer. I've ended up, I'm 1/6 thou larger on this end, thickness, than on this end. So I've got to work that bit out.
This draw firing doesn't take off that much. Still 156. Taking nearly off the ring.
Okay, 150, 151 up that end, still 155 at this end. I'll use the second cut file. It's down to 153. That's 151, 150. Alright, I'll be here for a while yet. I started to mount the base to the ways. Started to, it's only loosely screwed up because I still need to drill the holes now for the 1-inch plates up the top. But I thought while I'm here, I remember when I moulded this up and I forgot to check it, and I'm checking it now. The clearance of your T-nuts. T-nuts not going to fit in there. That was a bolt with a 3mm plate on it, and it's not so much the bolt's the problem. The bolt roughly clears. I'll turn the bolt down on the lathe. Excuse me. But I need to mill. I don't know if I'll mill anything out of the bottom, but I need to square off these shoulders so I can get a T-nut underneath the plates. So just be wary of that if you're doing yours. I'm lucky I didn't take the angle plate off the mill, so I can remount this back to the angle plate and put an end mill down, 12mm end mill down that slot. Might take a little bit out of the bottom. Might take a millimetre out of the bottom and just square off the sides. I would have liked to have left it cast like that, but it's not going to work. Well, it would if I shaped the end of that, but that's That's not very satisfactory either. So yeah, before you take your angle plate off the mill, just machine these out. Actually machine these, when you do your fly cutting on that, machine those out at the same time. But I didn't think of it. Didn't really notice. Didn't really know until now, because I didn't think. I did think, but I didn't check it on the timber pattern. Where is the timber pattern? There's the timber pattern. Still got the little cup hooks in there to lift it out of the sand. And that would have shown me exactly the same problem. So, there we go. Minor operation. I put this in the milling machine. I now know someone who's got a milling machine. It's handy. And those T-nuts will there now nicely fit in there. Plenty of room. Be nice and smooth. These other ones I will, as you can see, they're still too proud. They're too thick on the head. I just need to take about 4 millimetres off the thickness of that head. 3 millimetres, plenty. So I can put those. I've got 2 of these. I can put them in the lathe. Just turn them down. So you saw me. I cut the bottom edge and then came up underneath that and overhead, cut the top edge, and then came back and did a light skim along the casting here. Now that skim is so I can set. Oh, I've got to get this in the right place. But now I'll find the centre of the land, and I've got something square to measure off. Should be right. Yep, fits in there. I've got a square edge to measure off. I was going to do underneath on this side, but the spindle head wouldn't go low enough. But that's not a problem. I only need one edge to work off. That top edge will do, and I can do both ends off that top edge. Alright, that's the plan. Now to mark out and drill for the lands. Righto. Okay, for this to run nice and smooth through the carriage, these 2 surfaces, one underneath and this one here, have to be flat and parallel. So at the present moment I'm scraping, relieve the centre with the angle grinder. Now I'm scraping the two outside edges so that they're flat. Then we'll eventually turn it over and work this side down. Yeah, I know, it's a lot of work. We'll get there. As you can see, it's a little bit heavy on the blue, but it's not too bad. Little band there, but getting good coverage all the way to here, and very similar on that side. Maybe a little bit further up here, but this end isn't a problem because the lead screw it gets clamped here, so I'm only missing the last 25mm or so. I might just give it one more rub, see if I can bring it this way a little bit, but it's not detrimental. Down this end, it's there, but it doesn't really matter because that's right on the end of the travel. So you don't want to be down that end too far anyhow. But this is to achieve a nice, smooth, even run of this plate through the clamps, the cross feed, the carriage cross feed clamps, whatever they're called. So now I have to put that edge. I'll have to do something like that on the granite plate, and see if I can get something along there. It's no use taking the plate off this housing, this bed, because this bed, I scraped it flat and it's pulling this plate into the shape of the bed, and the bed is flat. And I know this plate has a slight amount of bow in it, very slight, only about 2 thou over the distance, but still but it was an even bow, so it nicely pulled up square. So that surface is now true to the base and to the top surface. So now let's see if I can do something with that edge. And remembering the clamps, you've only got about 10mm engaging the top clamp, so it doesn't have to be much. Oh, don't break. No, it didn't break. Alright, I'll go and test those, see what they look like. Alright, did a bit of cleaning up with the scraper first to get the rust off, and I've now got there all the way to there. So relatively quick. Well, I won't say quick. You never know with hand scraping, but yeah, a good outcome straight up. Put a micrometer on this, check the thickness, but we'll do that soon. Alright, still machining that small edge. It's got about 3/4 contact now. So what are we on? 2025, 29. So it's 29. About half a thou under 29. About 20, about 3/4 of a thou under 29. Half a thou under 29. So within about 3/4 of a thou over that distance. So they should run nice and even. So I've got contact there, 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 and there. It's starting to spread nice and even. Then I've got the other side to do. Well, I've got good coverage from there. It's on the inside edge, not quite on the edge. There, little bit missing there and there. So I've only got a little bit on the end. Not too worried about that end. But I'd like to pull this up to the end of the body. So I might take another 1 or 2 swipes over that. See if I can pull that up. Now I have noticed, and I think because I can only hand scrape in one direction, that I'm getting chatter. I'm getting chatter along there. So I stoned the last one, and it got rid of the majority of that chatter. This is a 400 stone, so it's not going to take that much out. But it needs to smooth over that chatter a bit. So the pattern hasn't changed. Still got contact there, a little bit along here, contact there and contact there. So I might have to do this another couple of more times to even that out. It's not much, but you can't take much off. Just trying to get the lights right so you can see that. I think you can see that. So I've got good contact all the way through, a little bit up this end here, only about half an inch off the end, remembering that is also the screw support and crank handle goes on that end, and then this here actually goes all the way up to the end, isn't it? And that, from that step there to the right, was extra. It wasn't part of Gingery's book, but I've put it in there to add more support. But I've said that probably 30 times before. Oh well, never get sick and tired of listening to me, I suppose. Shouldn't say that. But anyhow, that side's right. Probably only took me over the last 3 days, probably 2 hours to bring that in. Yeah, it works quick, doesn't it? Yeah, not. Now I've got to do the same on that side. It's still rusty, so I've got to scrape it clean, but that's it for tonight. Tomorrow, maybe. Catch you later. We are 28 and a half. To 28. To 28. That's 25. It's 30. 32 actually. Yeah. 32. 28. So +4 thou on the back. +4. So +4, +4. I'll have to sort that out. I was wondering why, if this was 4 thou thicker up this end than it is anywhere along here, why isn't it blue? Why is it contacting first? It's a thicker component. And I know the bottom is flat. Well, is it? Because I've got contact along this edge, a little bit missing here, and then, and I remember I said I'm not too concerned with this because this is the back end. I'm not going to be down that way in the slide. And I'm going, the operational area is from here, which is just the start of the blue, to there. And that's where the plate is secured to this lump of aluminium. So here, all these bolt holes. This plate must be deflecting down slightly. It's now the same thickness. I've just cleaned some area up, filed it, and it's now to the same thickness as the rest of it. But it's not coming in blue. That plate must be, because it's not secured to the body, it's flexing down. So I'm very happy with that now. Got full contact right along the edge, right along the main part. Some contact up here. Not worried about there because that's where the screw support bolts on. So I'm happy as. Beautiful. On the left there is the side we've just been working on, and then I've re-glued the other side in comparison. So getting nice even contact on both sides. All I've got to do now is check that the width is parallel. Yeah, so I'll go and do that now. I just cleaned, basically sanded with a foam sanding block. Just cleaned those both edges, and because we were +1 and +2 down here. So what do we got here? 50. 50. 50.5. 49.5. 50. So for my liking, that will do. Half a thou thickness difference over the 19 inches. So well, 12 inches where I measured. Back to the book, see where we go from here, because I think I can put the first bed strip down, table strip, and I can put the screw support and screw on that end. Yeah, I also have to get this to fit in the carriage slide, because it's another piece of plate. It's not going to be guaranteed the same thickness as the last one, although it is off the same lump of steel. But I sanded the last one, the other one, the temporary one. I hand sanded all of this scraping work. I didn't scrape it, so there could be a minor difference. Anyhow, we'll soon see. Good day and welcome to my garage. We're now at the getting towards, well, we're at the end of Gingery's milling machine build book 4. This is now the, where are we at? We're at, I am at, and you're following me, so it is a we. I have got the tail stand to make. Sits on the end here to support a bar with cutter or whatever. However, the tail stand has to be height adjustable because the head is height adjustable. So this tail stand has to be made. It's the last project of this in the book. So let's continue on, and I will start building the pattern for the tail stand. Come on, let's start.